Hi again, this is Rick with AmazingAccuracy.com, and today is November 9th, 2022. It is currently 9:33 a.m. Chicago time. All right, another crude oil update because we had some things happening here in the recent days. And if you've been following the crude videos that I have been making, crude oil videos recently, from the original forecast, I've been sending up updates. I hope that you subscribe, got your notification bell clicked so that you would be informed of those as they occur, like this one. Here's the deal. I have now changed these dates around. I haven't changed the dates. They remain the same. I have no control over cycles, but where they are as far as, are they up on the top here now? Are they on the bottom here? Because what happens is that if you've seen the video I did, I don't know if it was the last one or two updates ago, we had this inversion where it flipped the cycle from top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. All right. And it happened again. So if we go to the original forecast was from this bottom here to go all the way up to November 11th. And as we can see, that apparently seems to be the case. However, in a recent crude oil update that I did, we had this inversion that occurred where we ended up getting a top rather than a bottom, or the other way around. I don't remember exactly what happened, but that would put 1111 down on the bottom. And so now it's back to the top part again. And so each one of these we tackle as we come up to each date. Let me explain. The last video that I did, remember, and if you know, or go back and take a look at it, that's the easiest way to do it. We were looking at 11.2, and this was after the flip, where 11.11, 11.14 ended up down here rather than up here where it is right now, back to where it was from the beginning. We were looking at 11.2 making a swing top, and then prices moving down to 11.4, 7, 4, 7. Now 4 is Friday, 7 is Monday, and when I see them two dates like that right next to each other, I don't think two different turns. I think they're talking about the same turn because they're just one bar apart. But in this case here, it may have been two. It doesn't really matter at this point, but I'll explain in a second what we're looking at. So we ended up getting the swing top, the higher daily swing top for 11.2, as you can see right here. But the decline back down to 11.4 ended up ending on 11.3. So by doing that and then turning back up, that left the potential for 11.7 to be the swing top that follows, and it flipped everything back over again. So instead of a 4.7 down here, it ended up a 3.7 as two separate turns. All right, which doesn't, it's neither here nor there. So what happens is that in this case here, you know, I didn't get to play this because I was going to wait for it, you know, until for it to actually go into 11.4 or 7, which it stopped short of doing that and flipped up. So I'm just sitting on the sidelines here, twiddling my thumbs. Well, actually working on other markets, but you know what I mean, right? So then it went to 11.7. I knew at that point, okay, we got ourselves a swing top in progress here. Put on the overbought, oversold indicator. You can see that it went right into the overbought territory here, the green zone. And so it then confirmed and became a higher swing top. And because it's a higher swing top, I don't have a trade here because it's going counter trend. So I'm waiting for it to now go down into 11.9. Now this bar right here is 11.8. So let me put the prices in for today. There's today's prices right there for 11.9. And you can see that the only thing 11.9 could be is possibly a swing bottom. It can't be a swing top because prices are moving down. So you work with each expected turn as you enter into that time period. So once we saw prices moving down and confirmed 11.7, we immediately go to the next date. What's the next date? It's 11.9. What are prices doing? They're moving down into 11.9. Okay, we're going to be looking for 11.9 to be a swing bottom. And now that puts 11.11, which is the next date. 11.11 is the next date. We put that back up here because we're definitely not looking for a bottom to a bottom. It's going to be bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. It's a rotation because cycles move as it cycles up and down. That's what a cycle means. All right. So that's how we know what to expect to happen next. We can plan our trades against it and everything else. Another thing we want to do is, of course, we want to check things like for support, resistance, things like that. With prices going down, we're looking for support. We want to verify other things like, is it oversold? Yes, it's in a short-term oversold area right here. You can see this red zone right here. This is the provisions charting software that our members use or can use. It's optional. And it's just by pressing the O key, and that it's a really great indicator. So anyway, we are in a short-term oversold zone. We can also look for, is there a possibility that this is at some Fibonacci retracement support? You can put family, do whatever it is that you like to do for looking for support, previous tops, bottoms, all that other good stuff, trend line supports. I'm not going to get into all the technical analysis stuff that I will normally do, but I just want to talk strictly on the cycle dates that you have been watching if you've been following this recent series in the past week of the crude oil, going to the individual turn dates and actually turning on those particular turn dates. So it has indeed been doing that. We just have to follow the direction. Is it going towards the top? Is it going towards the bottom? And so forth. Now we know we're looking for a swing bottom for 11.9. And we're expecting then the prices to move higher as it goes into 11.11. All right, so that already gives us from here on for the rest of this week. What we should be looking for is some kind of support today and some kind of a reversal to start heading back up. All right, now as far as using information like this for trading, for example, what you want to do is make sure that you are going in the direction of the trend. So for example, even though I was expecting once prices started moving up into the 11.7 area, I was expecting a swing top. I would not trade it because of the fact that it's making a higher top to the previous top. Here's the 11.2 and then the 10.27. You see they're going higher. So I'm not going to sell higher swing tops. What you want to do is you want to buy off of higher swing bottoms. Now you have a situation here with 11.9 where it went below this 11.3. And so you have to kind of use a little reasoning here. Okay, overall, it is higher than here. You still have this upward pattern. That's what you care about. This is just the one little blip here. You can say reasonably, I'm not going to compare it to that. I'm going to basically compare it to this overall move here. I could take the 1 bar swings off, put 2 bar swings. That's where they swing after every 2 bars. And you can see it changes this pattern. So it's a longer term cycle pattern. And as long as we make that swing bottom anywhere above this level right here, which just happens to also be on the 50, then hey, this would probably be a good buy time period to trade for the rest of the week into 11.11, 11.14. And then that will probably conclude this particular run. And I say that because we go into the weekly time period. Let me see what we are as far as, which we're overbought. And we are expecting a weekly swing top to be forming for this time period right here. You see I have this 1118 here. You know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of that 1118 and put it up here. Whoops, let me get rid of that. 1118, there we go. I'm going to put the 1118 here to signify the top end, which if we get that, then 12.2 we would like to see down here, and then 12.16.23 would be up here. And then that could inadvertently change this 1.6 top to be 1.6 bottom. But I'm going to leave that alone because that's the longer term outlook for now. Itchy nose. And I just don't want to forget that I had made these comments here for a later time. So we could end up with an inversion somewhere along the line. Look, we have 12.16.23. We may end up with one at 12.16, one at 12.23, and it's the same thing as the 4.7 that happened over here, which ended up flipping this whole thing over. So just be mindful that in this case here, sometimes I end up with these dual date things where they're right next to each other, and that's what my analysis pulled up. And it may not be the same turn. They may be two separate turns, which was the case apparently for 4.7 turning out to be 3.7, two separate turns. Anyway, we only care now about 11.9. We want to see, let me put the 2 bar back on there again. We can trade this, but we have the possibility, as I showed you on the weekly, that we may be making a weekly swing top 1 bar early for week 11.11, which is this week. And currently that top is the 11.7 high during this week. Or if this goes higher than 11.7, then we're looking for either, depending on if it happens on 11.11, that would be this week. It just would make this week's weekly bar a little higher. Unless something drastic happens, I'm going to think, no, we're not going to make a higher weekly high this week. I think this is the weekly high right here. Let me put a horizontal bar right there and save that. All right, so right now this would be the weekly high this week, and we're going to be basing our expectations off this weekly high, for example. So here's the scenario. Let's assume then that prices start to rise as expected, and we get to 11.11, and it ends right here. You see what we have here is we already know on the weekly chart that we are now in that time period for a weekly swing top. So if we see anything that could potentially show that it's beginning using the daily dates, then we have opportunities there to actually get a jump on the new direction. This is the only time you would trade against the already established intermediate trend, which happens to be up at the moment. So right here, for example, as prices rise, if this goes up to Friday 11.11 here, and we're saying, okay, we have a potential lower weekly swing top for 11.11, you could place a sell stop below the low of 11.11, and it would, if it's really making that swing top, weekly swing top, it will likely move down, hit your stop, get you into a short trade, and you would be in a situation like this, which is good because you then would have confirmed the weekly swing top on the longer term chart, the weekly chart, and you would be in early of that new weekly move, which we had seen to be going to 12.2, week ending 12.2. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And if it just happens to not be stopping at 11.11, but instead it's going up to 11.14, which we don't know how high that's going to be. So I'll put it here. Let's say it makes a new weekly high for week ending 11/18. Well, then you know, okay, we're looking at the weekly top. We would not be looking to sell that because you know you're dealing with higher swing tops on the daily, and you're dealing with higher on the weekly. So you're not ready yet. But what you'd have to do is you would have to wait for it to go down to the next date, and then go up to the next date, which it would make lower. Then you have yourself a sell setup to go lower. You always want to look for opportunities where you have on the daily chart lower swing tops for the low risk trades. If you want low risk trades, for example, let me put these back on here again. I'm turning this video into somewhat of an educational video, but as the trend goes down, for example, like here's where this wave started, right here in this overall downtrend. This is its own wave, and if you'll notice, it made a lower swing top, lower swing top, lower swing top, and then came to an end. It started moving up. You have a higher swing bottom here if you want to go to the 1 bar swings, as you can see right here, or you can go to the 2 bar swings if you want to go for the bigger moves. But once it crossed above here, then the trend is considered changed. At this point, it changed to up, and then as it went up here and then came down here, you had a higher swing bottom than here. You had a trading opportunity here, then it went here, higher swing bottom, trading opportunity here, take it up, and now we're here. We have a potential higher swing bottom, trading opportunity here. Will it go as high, higher than this next, or will it stop short? That's what we have to see, but that doesn't mean you can't trade it. You can go ahead, because it's been making these higher swing bottoms, you can go ahead and trade it, but you need to be mindful that this move here is expected to end this week or next week, because we have this 11/18 warning us that a top here is ready to form, something like this, where it starts to go down. And so we're looking for something to start going down on the weekly before it moves up even higher, for example, to the 12/16/23. You see that pattern? I'm just doing the same exact thing, and we're timing it with the dates. Okay, no, I don't want to save those. Let's get that off of there. All right, so that's what we have going here on the daily. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. All right, so if you want it, how do you trade something like this? Like I said, okay, I can't give you recommendations. I'm only giving you educational information. All right, there's my disclaimer again. It was also in the beginning of the video. But right now, as long as this low is not lower than this low, you can place a buy above its high, one tick above its high, and if you get hit, then a swing bottom has in fact confirmed. As you can see with any of these swing bottoms, the only way that they can pivot up is if the following price bars move higher. So you would only enter once 11.9 confirmed that it is going higher, and your next target would be 11.11 for it to, you'd want to start tightening up your stops, or you can just get out if you think it hit resistance or went into overbought territory. There'll be a recalculation of overbought once we get a couple of more price bars there, I'm sure. Or whatever you do for solving for resistance. And so that would be a completely other video for that. But as far as trading cycles, that's how I trade cycles. That's how I believe most of us trade these cycle turns, and that is to go along with the swing trend pattern, which goes along with the Gann type. This is where I learned it from, was Gann always recommending that we buy higher swing bottoms, sell lower swing tops. But at the same time, we trade into an expected weekly swing top, then we need to be careful. And so that's what we're doing right now. If you want to trade this way, the other way is if you feel that the 11.9 has found support and you feel very strong that it won't continue lower because you're expecting that swing bottom, well, then you can just get on your intraday charts, make sure your indicators are all oversold, your oscillators are oversold and starting to turn up. Maybe your MACD on the 1 hour chart is starting to cross up from oversold zone. Use any of those tools to help you get in even earlier. I leave that up to you. What I do, is a mixture of all those things. Anyway, but I don't even teach that. That's for somebody else. But there you go. 11.9, that's today. So I'm going to be looking to time when I see it on my intraday charts and my thinkorswim. And once I see that it looks like it's pretty well extended and I can buy it and put in a stop loss that's not too far away because I wait for the extreme rubber band pull away before I get in there. Or I can just go buy a call option really deep in the money and not even worry about it. I can just poke in and watch it and as long as I don't lose 30% of the value of it, depending on how deep in the money it is, that 30% could be quite a bit. But anyway, I'm rambling. 11.9 to 11.11, 11.14. Well, there you go, guys. That's going to be it for this crude oil update. I hope you understand how all this cycle date thing works and why I would take it and flip it because of things that happen here like 11.2, 11.3. I hope you gained something from this. If so, please like this video so it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Click the notification bell. That's so important. Otherwise, you won't be notified in advance when I upload a video, which is of a timely manner. Okay, well, thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.